As you know, I'm a convert to the faith, and the Lord knows each of us so well. He knows every hair on our head. In my case, He knew how much I love to read. In fact, at one time, I think I was in 6 book clubs, but I was reading things like New Age books and books about serial killers of all things. My girlfriends wouldn't even trade books with me. They were reading the romance novels. But what happened was He supernaturally led me to books that were like spirit-filled books. And I kept reading and reading like I couldn't get enough. And I had a whole stack of books that I was just going through one after another after another. And one day I was reading this book called Miracles Do Happen by Sister Breach McKenna. I'm reading in this book and I came across this part about something called a miraculous medal. And I was amazed. It was all these miracles that were going on that the Lord was performing through the power of this medal. And I thought, I've got to have one of these. So I called up the local bookstore, the local Catholic bookstore, and I asked them if they had these, and they said yes. So I got the directions to go there, and I hung up the phone. I'm standing there in the middle of my room, and I looked over at the stack of books that I've been reading for the last couple of months, and all of a sudden it was like a light bulb went off in my head, and I thought, oh my gosh, all these books are Catholic. It hadn't dawned on me before that they all had something to do with the Catholic Church. So I said, Lord, you know, I must be really slow. I've just now realized these books are about the Catholic Church. Are you trying to tell me something? And I said, Lord, if you're trying to tell me you want me to become Catholic, you're going to have to be very specific. Have someone say to me, would you like to become Catholic? Then I'll know. So I left and I went over to this bookstore. I got there and I started walking around and I realized I have no idea what a miraculous medal looks like. So this woman was walking by and I stopped her and I said, excuse me, do you work here? And she said, yes. And I said, well, maybe you can help me. I'm not Catholic and I'm looking for something called a miraculous medal. And she said, oh, would you be interested in the RCIA? And I thought, what? And she said, just a minute, I'll be right back. And all I could think was, the ROTC? What's that got to do with anything? Well, then she came back and she had a piece of paper with a name written on it. And she said, here, if you just call Sister Barbara. And I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. And she said, oh, I'm sorry. She said, would you like to become Catholic? I couldn't believe it. My mouth just dropped open. The very words that I just said to the Lord, she said.